All you can really do with life is be grateful for it and teach other to be. And that about covers it. The faith of Father Abraham. Be grateful for life. It's given to us by the glory of grace. The natural laws, literally, I guess you just could say, dictate that. And you be grateful for it, and teach others to be grateful for it. There was a Jewish guy on a atheist DVD at the library I watched like 10 years ago. And he was trying to revisit his faith of Father Abraham. He was kind of like, when you look at the universe and you see what it takes to have life on this comfortable planet, and then you have to come to a point where you're grateful for the gift of this life, and you want to teach others to be grateful for it. It's the faith of Abraham. It's basically what he's talking about, but he's an atheist because people had turned religion into cults that were complete unfaithful gibberish. So he felt lost because there was no one like Abraham. Right? But the thing was there was, okay? And I'm sure that man would have had like access to D.T. Suzuki or Judah Krishnamurti, right? But they're always questioning because I think for some point, to some degree, they want to believe the mythology. Okay, a lot of you do. And it's like, why? It's a complete waste of time. All right? And then another thing is, and I've had this issue my whole life, and David told me about it, and lots of people, when you get up, okay, and do the right thing. I was watching Crossfire Trail, and they had the one with Sam Elliott, and he was being a little too assertive and aggressive about his attraction to this man's wife. And the man was trying to get a person because he had enough of killing because of Gettysburg, and he was an officer in the army. The kid had to explain it to him, the son, My dad's not a wuss. He just sick of killing. And at the end, when the one guy goes, "You can't do it," it's like he fought at Gettysburg. He can do it. He just doesn't want to. But with what a jerk that doc guy was, it made it a little bit. It wasn't as difficult to do as it was to shoot a rebel soldier who was fighting for what he was told was right, which was wrong, right? Like even Robert E. Lee said so, It was God's will that we lost the war because our cause was less righteous than our foes. The Union won the war because most of them were fighting to free other people from slavery, and we weren't fighting for that. So we lost because it was meant to be. Because we had too many men that wanted to own slaves on our side of the quarrel, and they had too many men on their side, especially when Lincoln, in freeing the slave, we ensure freedom of the free. And that was an archaic time. People didn't properly understand the Gospels because the people that lived the Gospels were hunted down and killed by the Romans and then assimilated into Roman mythology, which is not reality, and the people would sit around waiting for the myth for 2,000 years, okay? Which sucks, right? Bad brain activity, right? And some of us have way better brain activity than most people, and when they studied my brain at Fort Huachuca and here in White Sands, when I came back, they kept trying to tell me I was Asperger's, that I was a savant. You don't speak to people properly. You talk about things improper. And then finally, after a while, I just got pissed, especially when I worked at Fiesta Foods. I've never told anybody that time is money and that I would give them money for sex. And they said, no, I've never had an inappropriate, conversation with another human being my entire life. I've never misappropriated value, love, life, reproduction, sexuality, caring, kindness. When I had certain things I was interested in, and I had a lot of couth because I was raised by a Southern gentleman. And my mom was constantly working on me. That was because she used to give me a hard time about, you can't say that in front of people. I was like, Mom, you said to Dolly Parton. And that's all she heard, Mom. I know it. Okay? That night in El Paso. And because she didn't know how, she was raised by military guys. Okay, she didn't know how to talk to other girls. I'm sure my mom rubbed a lot of them the wrong way. She didn't black girls and Mexican girls, okay? But other white girls, woo, my mom could piss them off. Mexican and black girls, they typically tell it like it is. But then there are a lot of white women. May was a lot like my mother. Helen Garrett was a lot like my mother. Karen Stevens was a lot like my mother. Rosalie Armitage just loved my mom. Okay. Well, Marianne will tell it like it is, and she weren't let people sit around, those niggers, those pigs. Marianne let them have it. Okay. She was a really cool lady. Okay. My mom was very cool. People didn't like my mom. They had a problem. I'm sure Micah Owens remembers Marianne. I'm sure there's lots of people that remember, oh, Marianne. Yeah, she was a special lady. You know, she was a good kid. She was a good person. She hadn't gotten into bullying and abuse, and she'd call people on their shit. She was good at that. She'd take it sometimes, but not most of the times. Mom would say something. She's a good kiddo. Where do you think I got it from? My dad's a little bit different. He's kind of like, my dad's the one that I got more of my, okay. Because he was always, ignorant. What was it? If you're fighting to impress, only ignorant people fight. So if you're fighting to impress people, you're only trying to impress the ignorant. And give them an opportunity. But Mom was more the one, don't do like you do, Earl, or the bitches will have a Lee Harvey Oswald trying to kill you. And now the Lee Harvey Oswalds, instead of shooting you, okay, they spy on you, they manipulate you, they try to make you feel inadequate, they sexually manipulate your wife and kids, they dope you, they drug you, see, look at me. I was probably the most adequate because of my faith man in the history of the U.S. military, period. Because of the studies put together to try to make me look and feel inadequate, so people that wanted to compete with me and beat me and be the father of solutions, you see what I'm saying? So it's Book of Job. Job was the best man by far in all Judea. David, I'm like King David, and I proved it beyond reasonable doubts. And it's frustrating when I get people in my own family. Oh no, Jesus is God, you're just crazy. And you want to sit there and go, I was on fucking YouTube and Facebook. Everybody could watch it. Okay. I'm the only one that stood up to the assholes that do home invasion and perversion through drug dealing and medical industry murder through toxins. And I was the only person that did it. I did it all by my damn self. Okay. Everywhere I went, I became a legend. I was a legend at Fry's. I was a legend at Fiesta Foods. Okay? Remember Stephanie Michael when she was sitting there and that one guy, that drug addict came in and she didn't want to deal with it. She had me deal with it. And I sat there and I took him and I set him aside and I got him something to eat. And then I sat there and told him, there's a shelter place, go there or they're going to have you arrested. And it's better to spend the place at night. Jail sucks. I just talked some sense into him and the kid was high. And then he did, and he thanked me, and he left. Because I'm that way with just about everybody. Like on that Judge Mathis thing with the kid, I would have sat there and said, are you upset because your mom couldn't afford to take you to go see your grandma? I completely understand. Okay? We'll get through these 5 days as best as we can, and I understand your abuse, your depression from the abuse of philanthropists that make it where you have to pay them money to go see your grandma who could possibly be dying. I understand the patheticness of a judge in a circuit court who believes money is real and doesn't have the balls to stand up to be like Solomon and me. I've been watching court shows and dealt with the courts and shit my whole life. And I know how pathetic these people are. And I know how to help us stop accepting that patheticness as reality. Do you understand? Okay, so. Fuck, I'm tired. I gotta put my beans and my potatoes away. We had bean and potato burritos for dinner. So I fried up some potatoes with onions and oil and salt, garlic, salt, and pepper, and put on a pot of beans. And because we've had the tortillas for a while, so I got out the flour tortillas, heated them up, put some cheese on top of the beans and the potatoes and some green chili. And Dad was like, it was good. Yeah. Pretty good. Yeah, I like bean and potato burritos. Anybody else like bean and potato burritos? Anybody else poor Mexican Irish type people? It's silly. I know. I'm watching some of Crossfire Trail. I have this on DVD, so I may not have to worry about watching it. But what to do? Imagination is crazy. Start you all asking a daisy what to do. Daisy head Maisies. Y'all understand, right? That what y'all doing is wrong. And the technology, okay, has the capacity, okay, to collect the evidence. You understand, right? And so this is the validity of the Gospels. I'm sitting here watching these people pretend to be something they're not for make-believe money and replicating violent lifestyles through irrational, selfish, violent sexual conflict. Okay. Something we really need to stop over-exaggerating. And now we do it with sci-fi, because like what they said about Star Wars, it's like westerns in space. It's like, fuck, here we go again. It's Samurai. It's the Magnificent Seven, which I really like the music. Dum dum da dum dum da dum 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 da dum dum da 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 dum 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 dum. Do you have a plethora of piñatas? Okay, guys, you understand? Okay, so we'll get through this. Okay, stop pretending to be what we used to be. Let's be better. Let's do like John Denver and the Eagle and the Hawk, all that we can be and not what we are, right? Okay, guys, I love you. Peace.